Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Real Red Talk, the number one independent fan channel dedicated to Manchester United. Sorry we're a little bit late. We had a few audio issues. I'm just going to double check. You can hear us because if you can't, then that's the last thing you want. Let me see. Yeah, we're all good. We're all good. So, yeah, we've got many different reports coming in, the aftermath in what was probably the biggest breaking news story in years at the club. Of course, the Glazers have announced that they want to sell, and the potential buyers have been put on red alert. James Ducker, correspondent for Manchester United and The Telegraph, reporting that Jim Ratcliffe does want to buy the club. We're going to jump into that shortly, but first and foremost, we've got Aaron on to voice his opinion. How you doing, mate?
I think I'm the same as everyone, man. Buzzing with the news. Came out of nowhere, to be honest.
Yeah, likewise. It's been a bit of a whirlwind, to be honest with you. Yesterday we had 3 shows in 3 hours. We did the Ronaldo show, which came out. We was just literally getting prepared for the breaking news show, and then it just comes out of the blue. Ronaldo's terminated his contract. Then we go and do the breaking news show. We talk about the World Cup, etc. And as we're doing that, the news breaks about the Glazers wanting to sell, and it was just mental, absolutely mental. And I didn't even eat anything from when I got in from work and my dinner, which was like 12 o'clock up until 10 o'clock, I think it was. So crazy day. But look, the news is kind of welcome. So yeah, remember guys, if you want to subscribe to our channel, you can do that by clicking the subscribe button in the bottom right hand side of your screen. Make sure you smash a like on the video as well. Also, a big shout out to Daniel Jackson, who's donated £50 to our Movember campaign today. You know who you are. Big up yourself. I love you very much. Remember, if you would like to make a donation, to the chosen charity in mind, we're raising money for mental health, and the link is in our Instagram bio or the video description. So thank you to everyone who's made the donations already. Now, Aaron, like I said, I haven't kind of managed to have a chance to speak to you yet about the Ronaldo situation. We've had a few messages back and forth in the WhatsApp, but if you can give me your first initial reaction to finding out that Ronaldo's terminated his contract.
Probably best for both parties. It got to the point now where it was affecting probably the team and that more than it should have been. In the summer, probably should have gone, but obviously we kept him for commercial reasons. But for me, I think I'll still look at him. He's one of my footballing idols, still a legend of the club. But it's just sad it got that way. But it is the best for both parties.
Yeah.
I just feel like, really, do you know what? I've not even spoke to you properly about the interview. Just watching the interview, I kind of felt more like this is a guy that can't accept he's coming to the end. You know what I mean? Like, he can't accept that Ten Hag's got a different idea than him. And I don't even think any of them did anything like real bad. It was more just a fact of him not accepting his new role, basically.
Yeah. Do you know what it was like? It was like watching Ric Flair wrestle. You know what I mean? It's just got to the point, and you're like, yeah, you could still you never lose the technique, but your body just cannot keep up with that kind of shit, man. And yeah, he ended up wooing out of the club himself. It'd be interesting to see where he goes to next. I will discuss that very shortly. But did you expect it to be so soon? The way it came out, because it obviously came out the blue, didn't it? And United leaked like a sieve. So I know there was discussions around it and stuff, but no one expected it like imminent like that, did they? Surely.
No, I expected it to be after the World Cup, to be honest. I expected him to go off, play, and then maybe us try and get a fee. I thought we'd try and get a fee for him at least in January, but they actually made the right call and a quick call for once. But yeah, I didn't see it coming. I thought it was going to probably drag out a bit longer till January. And then if we didn't get no interest in January, it would have been released.
Yeah. How would you reflect then on his second time here, should I say? Because the first season, you could argue, 20 plus goals. The numbers don't lie. The team maybe didn't benefit from him being in the side. That's another argument. And then obviously this season, 1 goal, 10 games. How would you assess his return to Manchester United?
It was literally a tale of 2 seasons, wasn't it?
Yeah.
First season, first season, I thought he did well, man. I thought he was one of the only players that did produce. Whether we suffered the way that we play, but I don't feel like we really had a style of play anyway. So I don't think that really affected us too much. But yeah, I felt like last season he was one of the only ones that produced, and they got like the numbers, don't they? And the second season obviously speaks for itself with what's just happened. But I don't know. Like I was thinking this the other day, if we would have kept like another manager, or got another manager, sorry, that was like wanted him in the plans, I wonder if he would have been firing still. We wouldn't have even been having this conversation.
That's what I mean. There's so many variables, isn't there, when you talk about situations like this with Ronaldo. I thought the timing of it is I like it that they've just done, dusted, cut your losses, sin a bit. Like I like that. Don't get me wrong, but the fact that Portugal are in a tournament right now, I would be a little bit pissed off if I was a Portuguese player, because I'd be like, that's all they're going to ask you about. They're not going to ask about how the squad's preparing for the tournament, how's this and that, blah blah blah. Any journalist, when they get a chance to, is just going to pop a question about, oh, what about your termination with a contract?
Bruno was like had so many questions already about it, and about that video, and then today he was asked about it.
Yeah, exactly. What's next in terms of the striker market then? Because Fabrizio Romano tweeted today that they're in the market to look for a striker. You got Ronaldo's wages that are off the bill. You're talking in excess of like 400k a week, which is going to free up a lot of space on the wage bill, about 10% actually of our wage bill. So who do you think's the realistic target heading into January?
I don't think we're going to get on like a top striker. I think it's going to be like a stopgap or someone that we're going to sign that then it maybe will just be back up to whoever comes in next season. I thought it was going to happen in the summer, but I actually will still put my hat on this one. I still think Memphis is probably like the easy. It's not even the what signing I want, but it's the easiest deal to make for a player that wouldn't do too bad for us, because he's versatile, that he can go into the front three. He can even drop as a centre attacking mid. And obviously the Dutch connection, I just feel that it would be the easiest deals to make, whether it be a free transfer or we pay minimal, because I don't think Barcelona even really want him anymore.
What's the best alternative? Do you think he's the best stopgap that we can get if we do? Because the names that have been thrown into the hat, the likes of Choupo-Moting, and Nautovic has been re-announced again as a potential option. Who's actually, in fairness to him, is doing all right for Bologna. He's bagging goals in Serie A, so Ten Hag must have saw something. We know he's got an eye for talent. Is Memphis the best option out of them, do you think?
Yeah, that's why I shout it, because I think, yeah, we could probably go get, like you say, Arnautovic or Choupo-Moting, but they're both pretty old now.
Yeah.
Memphis is the only one that I can think of that we could sign, and then next season he could still be part of the squad. Whether he's a starter or a bench player, I just don't see the point in like another Cavani deal or something where, yeah, we might get 6 months and then it's going to be constant injuries, like age catching up with him. I feel like Memphis is probably the one where we wouldn't pay a lot for him and we'd probably get the most out of him.
I have to admit, I haven't watched Memphis Depay a lot. I know you watched Leon quite a bit when he was there, and I'm not sure if you've watched him whilst he's been at Barcelona. But can he play that 9 alone? Can he handle that role? Do you think if he was to come to United?
Yeah, I think so. When he was playing up top for Leon, and he was actually his last season mainly, I remember, and he had the armband and he was playing as the main striker. He was good, man. His finishing was good, and that his hold-up play as well was actually real good. But obviously, it's a different league. But yeah, I think he'd do the job for us. Like you say, whether it's he does 6 months up top and then he becomes a backup winger or backup striker. But I don't know, man. I think he would do the job, even if it was like 6 months as being the main striker.
Yeah, whatever you do, just don't give him the number 7 shirt. That's the last thing I want to say. Just keep that away from him for now. If you want to bring him back on a free, if we have to get a stopgap, I wouldn't mind it But then, how long of a contract are you going to give him? Is he going to want like a 3-year contract, a 4-year contract, and then he's at the club floating about? Why don't Barcelona want him? Do you know the issue behind that? Is it just a financial thing, or is it performances on the pitch?
I think it's financial, because they did want to get rid of him in the summer, and I think it was just to get rid of his wages, because he signed, didn't he, on a free? So I'm guessing his wages are pretty high, because obviously there's no transfer fee involved. So it usually goes to the player through the wages.
Barcelona causing a havoc in the transfer market once again, as always. I want to park the conversation about a striker, because obviously the initial story that we want to talk about today is the Glazer situation and the potential for Sir Jim Ratcliffe to buy the club. Obviously, Sky announced last night, like we said, 2 hours after the Ronaldo story, that the Glazers want to sell. How did you feel, first and foremost, when you heard that news?
I can't believe it. I heard it from you, and I don't know, man. When obviously you read it out, I thought, is it just one of these things? So I actually came off the stream, went through Twitter for a few minutes, and I seen that, and like, this is real. Like, real good people are reporting this. So I don't know, man. It didn't sink in. I don't feel like it's sunk in now, really. I think when it goes through is when it'll be like, shit, it's happening. But now I just didn't know what to think. I thought, is it just like because it's always been rumblings, aren't there, that they might sell up, or this could be the thing that forces them. But I don't know, man. When I started seeing actual like good reputation journeys, I thought, right, it's actually happening now.
Thing is, with United, you never know what to believe, because there's so many different stories that come out.
There's a new story every day.
Yeah, anyone who's a United fan will know this. When you're searching through Twitter, there's about 40, 50 different journalists with different takes on stories, and you never really know, unless it's Romano or a Simon Stone or these kind of guys, or even like a James Dudkoff from the Telegraph, who's reported this thing with Jim Ratcliffe today. Because these guys are, and Laurie Whitwell as well as another one, Andy Mitten, these guys are correspondents for United, so they have very good ties within there, so you can kind of take what they say at face value. Lewis Jackson in the chat saying we want Saudi Prince owners with flame emojis. I mean, each to their own. There is a divide on that. I'm going to ask Aaron about that again a little bit later on. But did you ever feel prior to this, obviously coming out, Aaron, that they would, like, deep down, did you think, given the financial situation and the collapses of the Super League, did you ever really truly believe that they would sell the club?
Nah, I thought, obviously, once the Super League failed, and there was no budge, and there was even like as brass as like they weren't. Do you remember that interview where he was trying to interview? I can't remember if it was. I think it was Avram Glazer, and he was walking down the street, and they were trying to interview him, and he was just literally blanking him. Like, and then I just thought from that point, you know what? They're like that hard face that they're not even going to be bothered, that they're not going to sell the club. I honestly didn't think they would, because nothing has seemed to bother them all the years. The protests, all the hate that they get, because they've just, obviously it's been a cash cow for them, and I just thought they'd keep riding that, getting every penny out, but looks like the pennies are starting to dry up now.
Yeah, definitely, and that is one of the main reasons why they are putting it out there. Let's go back to Lewis's comment. He mentions the Saudi owners there. We had breaking news recently surrounding loads of people that are interested in this. Obviously, they're going to be interested. United is a massive sports entity. There's going to be. I heard that there was, with the Chelsea situation when they were selling up, there was 100 people in the waiting list apparently who wanted to buy. So you can imagine the numbers that are going to be in the queue waiting to buy Manchester United, offering different things. A number of the few people, you got the Saudis. So there's apparently a group in Saudi. I don't know what specific one it is who are interested. You've got Facebook, Amazon, US investors, Mukesh Ambani, an Indian billionaire who owns the IPL and a couple of teams, and then most recently Sir Jim Ratcliffe, which got announced today from James Ducker, who said Ratcliffe will bid for Manchester United after the Glazers formally put the club on the market. Do you have a personal preference, Aaron? Should we be careful who we sell to? Do we even have an option as fans?
That's what I mean. I feel like in an ideal world, we'd want a big United fan with lots of money, good ideas for investment. But I feel like just a sheer amount of money that to buy the club, to invest in it. I've seen a thing today that to obviously redevelop and that you're looking at about 2 billion. So put that on top of the money that's going to be, you're looking at about 10 billion probably, like buying investment, clearing debts. So, you know, we need to be realistic on like the money wise. And I honestly think it's going to be a like an Arab Saudi owner type, because, you know, we know the amounts of wealth that they have, the oil money that they have. And obviously that is.
What do you think though? What do you personally want, for whatever reason that is?
For me, I just want someone that's going to invest and take the club serious. It's hard because obviously people have certain opinions on owners that come from certain regimes and different ethics that obviously they have in their countries. But I think in some ways, and I'm not trying to say I condone it or whatever, but I feel like with that far gone in the game now, money involved, we can't escape it. It's in the game, it's there. So if it was we were to have an owner like that, I just hope that they'd obviously would invest, because you look at what they've done at City, and obviously where the money comes from, that is questionable, but what they've actually done for the area, the infrastructure around the stadium, it's actually positive. So I just hope whoever does invest like that. And I don't know, it's hard. Like I say, it's the morals of the person, but then again, I've got to understand that people that have a lot of money, sometimes obviously it does come from places that we don't like, but I don't know, it's hard to explain.
It's
but
hard. I know what you mean. It's
because I don't want to sound like I'm condoning it. I don't want to sound like I'm saying,
no.
Oh yeah, I just want like someone with a big bag of money. I don't care where it comes from.
Yeah.
But we've got to be realistic and understand that people that are going to invest that money, it's probably going to come from somewhere like that.
No, I get it. You kind of torn in your head, and I don't condone the things that go on there, but I think football has been tainted with this kind of stuff way before. Even the Saudi owners or these Abu Dhabi organisations and stuff got into football. You look at previous owners anywhere, there's dodgy shit going on. So it is a tough one. You do kind of feel conflicted, and I suppose, like I said, I don't think we'll have an option in it anyway. I think we'll have a voice.
No,
I mean, like if Sir Jim Ratcliffe came out now, I think a lot of the fans would get behind him and be like, he's our pick. But ultimately, I think it's just whoever offers the most money. That's what the Glazers
The Glazers aren't going to sell to someone that they think is best for the club. It's going to who can line their pockets the most.
Exactly. They're not going to have morals about, oh, well, the United fans will want... They've never had morals for us. And with 17 years they've been here, they've never once thought about the fans. So they're not going to start doing it now, especially when they're selling the biggest asset, one of the biggest assets on the planet. They're going to be like, right, who's offering 10 bill? They're going to do like an auction, basically.
Exactly.
And potentially it could go to another fucking Glazer family, which is obviously the last thing that we want. So... yeah, we're definitely going to keep a close eye on that. How long do you think this process will take, Aaron? Because obviously these things do usually take time, don't they?
They do, but the Rain Group were obviously involved in the Chelsea takeover. I know it was under different circumstances and it was kind of more hurried, but that from Bowley being announced as a preferred bidder, it took 3 months for that deal to go through. So I'm hoping that if the Glazers just want rid, that they can accelerate it and hopefully have it done within, I think 6 to 9 months will be a realistic time frame, because they say about, I remember obviously not a lot of people like him, but Simon Jordan, I do respect his opinion on the business side of football, because obviously that's his world. And he was pretty bang on with everything he was saying about the Derby takeovers and on the Newcastle takeover. So I remember him saying that it usually takes about 9 to 12 months. But I feel if the Glazers just want out 6 months, hopefully 6 to 9 months, I think would be a realistic target.
Yeah, Dan in the chat, he says Ambani in. That's the Indian billionaire, he's like the 8th richest man in the world. He's
Yes,
got
I only need to see what Shiraz was saying about him. I
yeah.
don't really know anything about him.
I do want to get them two on to discuss Ambani, because I want to know about him more in depth. I think he's an interesting guy, and he seems to be doing good things for the companies that he owns. So that could be a potential option. I think a thing you need to bring into it as well is the fact that, if Jim Ratcliffe, let's say hypothetically he comes in, right, and he is the owner, this is a guy who's worth 20 billion. You look at Newcastle's owners now and City's owners. Can he compete with them? I know he's rich, obviously. If you've got 20 billion, you're not poor, are you? But can you compete with these kind of guys? Like, look at Newcastle's owners. They're 10 times the wealth of what City's owners are. How can you compete with these guys, even if you just a multi-billionaire? It's going to be difficult in it with the amount of money they're investing in the clubs.
That was a point I wanted to make, but I didn't really want to say it in case it came across bad. But I feel like it's getting to the point where you're going to need that sort of owner to be able to compete. Yeah. And then it's like, so do we either join them or do we obviously end up suffering in the long run? We'd be happy with a new takeover, but they're going to keep investing in teams. Liverpool were probably going to be bought out by someone like that. So then it's like we fall behind again to Liverpool. You know what I mean?
That's the thing with FSG. Quite a few people, especially in this kind of community that we do, the fan channel community for Liverpool, have said they don't want these Saudi owners. They've been quite strong on that stance, saying they don't want them. And obviously, quite a lot of people from the Manchester United fan base have said a similar thing. Then do you go with morals and drop off the pace and drop down the league, or do you join the rest of them to be at the top, to be competitive? It is difficult. You're torn as a fan.
That's what I mean. It's hard.
Yeah, 100%. Go on, you go.
I was just going to say, it's like you feel like you're contradicting yourself because we need the investment, and I feel like they're probably the only type of person that could bring in the investment. But then it's like you have your morals as well, and it's like the World Cup as well. So many people talking about that. I don't know, man. I just think you've kind of just got to look at. I even feel bad saying it. You even got to just look at the sporting point of view, maybe, and not the wider picture, which is I even sound bad saying it.
No, but yeah, the thing is, right, the Manchester United are a sleeping giant. Like, if they had the same investment levels, I know people are going to go, you've had investment, they spent 200 million, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I get it.
Look how much has been taken out.
Yeah, look how much has been taken out, and look who they've left in charge to run the asylum. Like, it's not been given to good people with that money. You give it to the right people, like Paul Mitchell or Ragnick, for example, you'd probably have a completely different team to how it was under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So that's the point I'm trying to make. There has been investment in that sense, but if they start investing in the facilities, the stadium, the infrastructure, change things up top, then the United could very easily compete with anyone on the planet, because the potential for our club is huge, absolutely huge. And one thing I wanted to ask you on this is, sticking with our club, with the players and the managers, I wonder what they think of this whilst they're at the World Cup, whilst Ten Hag is, doing whatever it is he's doing at the minute, training individual players, whatever it is. Because you look at the Chelsea situation where Todd Bowley come in, the likes of, what did he do straight away? Tuchel didn't agree with him, sin a bit straight away, starts playing a little bit of, football manager. You get this American guy coming in. We're going to have to do our I keep getting this word fucking wrong. Our due diligence on this, because we don't want another situation like that Todd Bowley one, do we?
Nah, that's what I mean. The one good thing we've got going at the minute is Ten Hag, and even the fans won't want to lose that. You come in as an owner and get rid of Ten Hag, you're off on the wrong foot already, I think. Todd Bowley's trying to really Americanise the league. He's talked about an all-star game.
What did you think about that? I actually quite like. I'm not gonna lie. I actually quite like the idea of it.
Well, I'm a big basketball fan, and you do have the All-Star weekend. it is a good watch, but I just think I don't know how to do it. Like they said about like a North versus South, didn't they? I I don't know. It's kind
I
of
think
like
that'd be
don't
good, mate.
change. Don't obviously if it don't need. I can't even think of the saying. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Sorry.
Yeah.
I feel like kind of that, but then it's like if it was to happen, I think we'd enjoy it. And have like a skills challenge and shit like that. So it would
Yeah.
probably be good to be honest.
Good day out.
But I feel like we don't want. I don't want an owner like that at United. That's looking at stuff how they can change the league or bringing in their own manager and I want to be the face of. No, it just needs to be come in, concentrate on United. That's all you need to concentrate. Don't try and Americanize the league. We don't care about that at the minute.
Yeah, absolutely. What are your expectations now for these next couple of weeks, Aaron? How do you see it playing out? Because right now, the news broken last night, of course. All we've got at a minute is just fucking this guy's interested, this guy's interested, this guy. Everyone's just linking their name. And like I said in the chat, I'm waiting for the Elon Musk tweet or the Conor McGregor tweet or something like that. Someone just to throw the name in their hat to get a bit of attention on the profile. What's your expectation now for the next, let's say, month or so?
Every man and his dog's going to be linked with buying it. I don't know. I think I'm just going to sit back and wait for, like you said earlier, people like Fabrizio and see what they come with because there's going to be a lot of links and there's going to be a lot of people coming out as well, like publicly saying that, yeah, we're pushing to buy United, we're going to be the new owners, and it doesn't happen. I mean, you had that guy come out saying he was going to buy Arsenal, who had Omri and was it Birdcamp, and he was like owned Spotify or something like that.
Annual League.
Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of people, and they're not serious people, man, at all.
Yeah, and like I said, it goes back to the financial thing as well. Like, are they going to be able to compete with these Saudi owners who have got you talking like hundreds of billions of pounds? That's what we're talking about. If they come and we've got to invest how much? Like what? Like a couple of billion, half a billion, however much it is in the infrastructure, stadium. Like it's going to cost so much money, so it's going to be a long-term game anyway because you can't just come in and then be like, right, I'll change it up and I'm going to start making money. That is not going to happen regardless of the situation, whoever it is. It's a long-term game, and it's a weird one at the minute. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm constantly checking my Twitter,
yeah, I'm the same.
refreshing it to see what's going on, the developments and stuff. It's exciting for fans because we've wanted it for so long. I think it's super important. Like this has been part of United fans' life for fucking since 2005, and people could foresee the cloud that was coming even before they'd taken over. Before when they heard the links of it, I remember that interview they did. And they was at like a business meeting or they was doing like a conference, and they got asked, "Oh, United fans want to know so and so, whatever the question was." I can't remember what it was, and he just did this like evil smile and was just like wouldn't talk about it whatsoever. Just ignored the full situation, and just something like that's telling straight away. You could just tell all they give a fuck about was money. As long as that club's producing money, I said on the show, if they could get Champions League for 10 years in a row, but we'd come fourth, they'd take that every single day. Don't give a shit about
100%.
trophies. As long as the Champions League revenue's there, they would take it. So, look, the wheels are in motion. God knows what's going to happen. I mean, they could announce tomorrow that fucking Ten Hag's fell in a river or something. You just don't know what's going on with this club at the minute. It is mad. It is really mad. But, of course, we will be going live if anything does break. Don't worry about that. I want to touch on the World Cup, Aaron, because, again, I haven't had a chance to speak to you properly about it. What are you making of it so far?
I've enjoyed it so far. I know there's been obviously them two boring draws today and yesterday, but apart from that, I've enjoyed it, man. I think it's been good attacking football like that. That Saudi performance yesterday against Argentina was top, man.
So good, wasn't it?
Like, yeah, when they were digging in and they cleared it off the line.
Yeah.
It was a good performance, man. I think it started off well. I know I think it was 2010 was like a real boring World Cup. Like there was a lot of boring games, but every game I've watched, I've enjoyed so far.
Who's your pick to win it?
wasn't even saying this before they lost, but a lot of people were saying Argentina. But I had a feeling about Brazil. I just look at their team and I think they could do it.
Who's playing currently? Do you know the score with Canada and Belgium?
No,
I'm not showing the score. Now. Anyone in the chat, if you know what score that game is in a minute, just drop it in because I'm interested. I think that'd be a good game.
Half time now, or second half will just be starting now.
Yeah, because Belgium, another one. A lot of people expecting them to kind of flop at this tournament. Got an aging squad.
I feel like their time's passed, man. To win something when they had that apparent golden generation, that was their time, but they never did anything with that.
Just a quick question from Dan, going back to the Glazer thing. I'll happily discuss it for a second. He said, are these Glazer out developments in any way a result of Ronaldo interview? No, I think that's absolute bullshit. He's got nothing to do with it. As much as Piers Morgan might have you think that he was a part of it and this is the reason why they're doing it. Like me and Aaron said at the start of the show, this thing has been in motion for a bit. They would have discussed. You don't just sell a club like United, announce it at the night, and then they would have been talking to many people. They might already have a buyer. So I doubt it's anything to do with Cristiano Ronaldo, but the Ronaldo FC fans will have you believe that. I'll tell you that for sure. Belgium 1-0, Batshuayi, apparently.
As if he's still getting picked by the national team.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? I don't even know where he is. He must have been at like 20 different clubs. I know he was in the Turkish league at one point.
I think he's there now. I think he might be at Fenerbahce this time round.
Is it Fenerbahce? Yeah, never rated that guy. To be honest, never ever rated him. You've already touched on the Argentina-Saudi game. Did you watch the Japan-Germany today?
I saw bits of it because I was working. I had it on the screen, but because I was busy, I was kind of just looking up every so often. So I didn't even really know how the game went. Obviously, I saw the goals, but
basically, Germany dominated possession for like 80 minutes, something like that. Went 1-0 up. I had to say that I can't pronounce his name, Musialero, the young kid from Germany looked fucking really good, really good. And they kept probing, having long shots, and then towards the end,
didn't they?
Yeah, I think so. And then he was offside. It was a tap in basically. And then towards the end, just like Saudi Arabia, like the two goals just come in quick succession, just like boom, done. And Germany was just like, what the fuck just happened? It was like a flash in the pan. And the second goal, again, like Saudi Arabia, the finish was fucking... Yeah, I'd advise anyone to watch it anyway. If you missed that Japan-Germany game, switch it on, because it was an absolute belter. What about us, though, Aaron? England, how obviously did very well to beat Iran 6-2, but at the end of the day, it is Iran, so you can't really judge too much off that. How far do you think they'll go in the World Cup?
Finding it hard to judge off that game because I think that we expected to get an easy win like that. I don't know, man. I want to see us play a tough team because I want to see if he's learned from obviously the final against Italy. Because in that Italy game, he should have changed it, man, and he left it well too late. I'd expect us, just because of the team we've got, I'd hope we'd get to the semis, but it just depends who we get in the draw. And like I say, it depends how we perform against a big team. So I think quarters to semi. Ideally, I'd like us to get to the semis, but don't know who would get in the quarters. I've not had a look at how the draw would play out, who we could get.
Yeah, Dan in the chat saying it's Kane fit. Kane's had a knock on his ankle that he needs to have a scan on, so he could be out for the game. I know Maddison hasn't trained yet officially with the club, so he's still relatively injured. That striker situation would worry you, wouldn't it? If you have to go with Callum Wilson, do you think that'd change our game up quite a lot, considering how Kane was playing? He was kind of dropping money, feeding Saka or feeding Sterling. Do you think we'd be a completely different outfit with Wilson?
I think we could adapt because you could look at it the other way. Like, obviously, Wilson's got pace, Sterling's got pace, Saka's not slow. So you could look to get him behind more than obviously drop in. But it would worry me that Wilson's obviously injury prone. So you could be looking at getting out of the group and having two strikers injured.
That's what I mean. They'd have to rely on Rashford, innit?
I was going to say I'd possibly play Rashford down the middle against USA and see how he does, because I feel like the games against USA and Wales, we should win. Wales, obviously, will be the harder one because it's like a derby, and they'll bring it to us. But
Definitely.
if we beat USA, then obviously it should be job done before we would have qualified, but just don't know if we top the group, depending on obviously Wales' result. But I feel like obviously the job will be done by then, so we could probably get away with it. But obviously, if we don't win on Friday, it's going to be worrying, because I don't know. I don't trust Wilson's injury record. That's why I wouldn't have took him personally, but obviously he's there now. So
Dan says Maguire now has the experience to play as a striker, so we should be all right. Throw him up top.
He's out as well, isn't he?
Yeah, there's doubts with him as well for the USA game. But I think that I don't know if did you watch USA against Wales, the draw?
Yeah, first
1-1.
half they look good. The pressing looked good.
Electric. They've got athletic players, and I think the game on Friday, I think it'd be a really good game. I could see it shaping up to be like a 3-1 or a 3-2.
I feel like they fizzled out those second half.
Yeah, they did.
I don't feel like they sustained it.
Yeah, but that's why I think it'll be. I think the first half it'll be similar. They'll give us a good game, maybe get a goal. We'll get a goal, and then I think we'll take it away from there after that, just because of the quality that we've got. Before the Iran game, how would you have lined England up? Obviously, it's easy looking at it now saying, yeah, I would have gone back four, Jude Bellingham, blah, blah, blah. A lot of people thought back five going into it, but he went with the back four against Iran. Maybe he'll switch that up. I don't know if he plays a big boy like a France or someone like that.
Personally, the only change I actually would have made out of that starting lineup would have been I'd have probably took Mount out and put Foden in, and had him as like a number 10. But apart from that, I think I pretty much would have had it the same, to be honest. People were saying Saka shouldn't have started, but I think Saka does all right for England. I like Saka as a player. Yeah. Obviously, he repaid it with 2 goals. So people say about Sterling's form, but he's always bang on for England. Yeah, I'd have probably had it the same, except for I'd have took Mount out and put Foden in. That would have been the only change I would have made.
I think a lot of people a lot of players justified Gareth Southgate's decisions, didn't they? Like, you saw Maguire, like, why is he taking Maguire? Why is he playing him? Maguire played good, aside from the little mistake for their second goal, or the first goal, I can't remember. And then the same with, like, Saka, like, why is Foden not playing instead of Saka, or why is Mount not playing? And then Sterling's not in the best of form with Chelsea, but then they all proved him right. Every single one of them got a goal, and all his attackers did well as well off the bench. So from Southgate, it was.
I was just about to say then the biggest thing that I was happy about was the fact that 2 bench players came on and scored, because it shows that we've got options now. And it's short. If Rashford is on the bench next game, or Grealish is on the bench, it's going to give them the confidence to come in and think, yeah, I can change the game, and it might even make Southgate less hesitant in the big games to make a sub or to change it up.
Nice to see Rashford, Shaw, and Maguire all getting a goal contribution as well. Obviously United boys, so it's good to see that. Hopefully carry on that form. I don't think Maguire will, because I don't think he'll be in our team when he gets back. But yeah, hopefully he continues to do well for England. Are you confident going into that game then on Friday? You think we'll get the job done and then basically through to knockout rounds, aren't we?
Yeah, from what I saw in USA and Wales, I think we'll have too much of them, because, like I say, the second half they seem to fizzle out pretty quick. And I feel like against us, we've got a lot more firepower than Wales. Wales are like brought on a guy from Portsmouth, obviously that's playing League One football. So we're bringing on Premier League big hitters. So I think, like you say, the game might be won in the second half. But yeah, I think we're going to have too much for them.
Joseph Jack says Foden will need a Haaland type of player to play good, like an electric striker. I don't know what it is with Foden in an England shirt. He doesn't seem to perform to the top level like he does for Man City. I thought he looked okay when he came on. Maybe just needs that full 90 minutes to kind of get into his stride. But I feel like Southgate always goes with Mount just because of the off-the-ball work that you get. Like, if you look at his stats for Iran game, he was absolutely everywhere. And there was a lot of people kind of criticising his performances, but I actually thought Mason Mount did all right. I thought he was good in that game.
Yeah, I thought he was just. I feel like he just gave a standard performance. He wasn't for me. He wasn't a standout, but I don't think anyone played badly. And the form that he's had with Chelsea going into the game, it does justify him starting.
Yeah.
Like say about Foden, I feel like obviously last tournament he picked up an injury, didn't he? Was it an ankle injury?
I'm not
In
sure.
the Euros, I'm sure he got injured in the Euros. But it's like again, like if you're bringing Foden off the bench, is it really a bad thing? Like just because of the
Maddison as
depth.
well. Like, I think the way James Maddison's playing in the Premier League, the fact you got him off the bench, like he's killing it at the minute, absolutely killing it.
Yeah.
Grealish can always come on, offer you a different dynamic. Like if you need to start winning a few free kicks and set pieces and stuff, he's always that guy for it. He will do that. Rashford with his pace and mobility against tired legs. I remember I mentioned in the Iran review after the game, saying I remember when he came on against Leipzig, I think it was, and scored a hat trick. Like he can be that electric and just kill teams off when you need to. So the options are absolutely great for England, and I'm looking forward to the game on Friday. We will have a preview, for that tomorrow about 6:30. So make sure you tune in for that if you're watching live or you're watching later on. Last question on the World Cup, Aaron. Any flops or underdogs aside from the obvious, do you think?
I'm going Argentina flop. Everyone's shouting them that they're going to win it. I don't think they are. I think.
Why would they flop though? What do you think is the main the element in that midfield?
Because I feel like I don't know. I just feel like all the tournaments that I can think of really from like our time, like growing up, that they always seem to bottle it, man. They always seem to like fuck it up. Like they got to the final, didn't you? Was it against Germany?
Was it in Brazil against Germany?
Yeah. And I just feel like that was probably the best chance. I don't know why. I just feel like they never deliver in the tournaments. So yeah, I think biggest flops Argentina, just because everyone I speak to, think they've got it nailed on. Yeah. And the biggest surprises. I'm trying to think who's played.
Well, obviously you've had the obvious ones. You've had Japan beat You've had Japan beat Germany. Qatar looked shocking. Ecuador beat Qatar, but like I said, the ability of Qatar was awful.
I don't think Saudi and Japan will keep it up. I'm going to say biggest surprises are going to be Serbia.
Yeah,
because they've actually got some ballers, and I feel like there's always that one team that just makes a run, and I feel like they might make a run.
Yeah, quite a few people shouting out Serbia. You know, they've got Vlahovic, Tadic, Milinkovic-Savic, Mitrovic, who's in the form of his life at the minute.
They've got Kostic as well. They've got some good players, man.
They have. It's just how they're going to fit them all in the system. I don't know who the first game's against, but I imagine it's going to be soon because quite a lot of the teams have played already. So I imagine Serbia are probably playing. Aren't they in Portugal's group? Is that correct? Pretty sure they're in.
I can't even remember. I think they might be.
Yeah. So they should be playing tomorrow. Dan says there benching Martinez was a mistake. That's what I mean. I said that before the game even kicked off. How are you starting a 34-year-old Otamendi over Martinez? You fucking mental bastards! Like I don't get it at all. As soon as he came on, he just looked miles better, far better. He created more chances than anyone when he came on the pitch, and he's a fucking centre back. Like the guy is important to integral to the system, and hopefully the coach recognises that because he should be playing in the next game if they want to win anyway. I don't know who they're playing next, either Mexico or Poland in it, but that game itself, the Mexico-Poland one, was boring as fuck, man. Like, proper boring.
It was dire, that game. From what I saw of it, it was awful.
Yeah, flatliner. Dan said Ghana, Portugal, Uruguay, North Korea. I don't think it's North Korea, mate. I think it's South Korea. I think he meant South Korea. Hopefully, anyway, fucking hell. Otherwise, North Korea are definitely getting out of that group. But yeah, interesting times, the World Cup. Maybe we can catch the rest of the Belgium game. I think there's half an hour left of that game, something. Belgium, Canada.
Yeah, there'll be half an hour left.
Yeah, let's go watch that then. That is the end of the show, guys. Remember, we have the big England versus USA preview tomorrow. Make sure you tune in for that. a massive game in the group stage where we could grab a spot in the knockout stages with 3 points. So vitally important we get a win. If you want to follow us on social media for regular updates and clips from the shows, then all the handles are at the bottom of the graphic. I appreciate you taking time out of your day, Aaron. So I know you're a busy man, so thank you for coming on.
Movember as well, man. Make sure you donate. We're still running that.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got 7 days left until the Movember campaign finishes. So if you'd like to make a donation to the charity, the link is in the video description, or you'll find it on our Instagram or TikTok. So thank you to everyone again. And big up Daniel Jackson, who's donated £50 today. I appreciate you. Lots of love. And we'll see you in the next one, guys. Take care. Peace.